Just going to take you through the neuro exercises to help to remind you what you need to do on a day-to-day basis to help to reintegrate and re-regulate brain function. Remember, these exercises are guidelines only. What you need to do is to find out what your system will tolerate. So if you have an extreme dysregulation going on, you'll have a lower tolerance, so you may need to wind these exercises back a little bit in order for your brain to be able to receive and integrate them. If you find your tolerance is good, then you may wish to add a bit more. You'll be the best person to judge that. The first exercise today we're going to go through is called convergence. Convergence is part of the oculomotor system. We're going to give you 5 exercises, and the first one is called convergence. So convergence works like this. Just look at my eyes for a second. This is convergence, this is divergence. Convergence, divergence. We want your eyes, from an oculomotor function, to be able to converge and diverge properly. This is happening thousands of times per day, and if your convergence is not regulated properly, it upsets your brain. So this is what you do. Put your thumb on a distant target. So it could be that pen on the wall just over there, which we showed you in the practice. Put your thumb on a distant target. Make sure it's on the target and not below the target. If it's below the target, then what happens is instead of converging like this, you converge like this down, which is not what we want. We want a pure convergence in and out. So put your thumb on a distant target. Look at your thumb. Look at the target. Look at your thumb. Look at the target. About every 4 to 5 seconds. Do this for 1 minute, 3 times a day. As you do this exercise, when you look at your thumb, there'll be 2 targets. When you look at the target, there'll be 2 thumbs, and you're looking through your thumb to see the target, okay? That's the first week. On the second week, come about 100 mils closer. On the third week, come 100 mils closer. And each week, come 100 mils closer till eventually you're about 100 mils off your nose. And again, see which works best for you. Now this is maximum convergence, and this is minimum. You start out light and gradually build up over the next few weeks according to what your brain, your system can tolerate. Once you get to this level here, you'll be doing this exercise potentially for the next 3 to 4 months. The next exercise is called horizontal pursuits. You're pursuing your thumb in a horizontal fashion. So put your thumb at arm's length, and on the first week, just move your thumb 10 degrees either side of center. Okay? It's a nice smooth movement. Make sure your head stays rock steady and just move the thumb 10 degrees off center. That's the first week. In the second week, go 20 degrees. In the third week, go 30 degrees. And each week, add an extra 10 degrees or so to the movement till eventually you get to maximum oculomotor movement in terms of pursuits. That's maximum there. Now I can see my thumb over here, but that doesn't matter. My eyes have it locked to maximum. That's maximum there. I come back across here, and that's maximum across there. Okay? Make sure the thumb is at eye level and pursue the thumb in a nice smooth fashion, keeping the head steady. Don't go too fast, you'll make yourself sick. Once you get to maximum, do that for the next 3 months. Next exercise is called vertical pursuits. Put your thumb in front of you at eye level and start just by doing 10 degrees across the center. So here's the center here, 10 degrees across the center, up and down at this, keeping your head steady. That's the first week. Second week, 20 degrees. Third week, 30 degrees. Each week add 10 degrees till eventually you get to maximum, which is about 50 degrees up here. But when you go down to the bottom, it's about 75 or 80 degrees down here. Our eyes are regulated to look down more than look up. That's why it's safe for walking, okay? Again, so make sure it's a nice smooth movement, not too fast, and keep the head steady. Once you get to maximum, do that for 3 months. The next exercise is called horizontal saccades, and I call this the nose, thumb, nose exercise. You recall when we were testing you, you put my finger in my nose, I put a thumb either side. When I click my thumb, you look to my thumb and back to my nose as quickly as you could, right side, and then left side again, okay? Now to simulate this at home, what you do is this. Put 3 pieces of blue tack on the wall, nose, thumb, thumb, okay? First week, what you do is nose, thumb, nose, nose, thumb, nose. So the first week, about 100 mils apart, nose, thumb, nose, nose, thumb, nose. Pursuits is across the center. Saccades is back to center. Nose, thumb, nose, nose, thumb, nose. Okay? That's the first week. Second week, add 100 mils. Third week, add 100 mils. And keep adding 100 mils till eventually you get out to maximum, which is probably going to be off the board. Nose, thumb, nose, nose, thumb, nose. Now early on, just work on identifying nose, thumb, nose. But later on, as you expand out further, work on your speed. This is a reflex, and this is a measure of brain processing speed. And the faster you can do this, the faster your brain processes. Okay, this is called vertical saccades. You recall when I tested you and Dr. Chad tested you that we started with the nose and the thumbs are like this time. And when we clicked the thumb, you looked up to the thumb and back to the nose and clicked the thumb, down to the thumb and back to the nose. So to simulate this, what you do is this. Put 3 pieces of blue tack on the wall, again at eye level, nose, thumb, nose, nose, thumb, nose. That's the first week. Nose, thumb, nose, nose, thumb, nose. Each week after that, move the blue tack 100 mils apart, 100 mils apart, 100 mils apart. So eventually, maximum is going to be up here somewhere. But again, maximum is way down here because we talked about the fact that your eyes are set up for looking more at the path when you're walking versus looking at the sky, okay? So again, work on your speed early on, nose, thumb, nose, identify the target, but later on, work on your speed. Speed is a reflection of brain processing power, and the faster you can go, the better your brain will work. Exercise is posture stability exercise. You'll have your target array on the wall and put the target array on the wall at eye level. So in this case here, the target array is at eye level like this here. If this was for me, standing here, the center of the target array would be higher, okay? When you've placed the target array on the wall properly, then stand body length away from the target array, stand upright, get your laser light, put the laser light on your head, standing upright, and then turn the light on, okay? And very often what will happen is you're standing upright like this, and the light happens to be above the center of the target array. What you do then is just reach up and hold the base of the light and move the light down until it reaches the center of the target array, okay? We don't want you doing the exercise like this or like this to accommodate the light. We want the spine, the cervical spine in a neutral position, and you move the light up and down accordingly, okay? Once you've got that, first week, 1 minute, 3 times a day, hold the light on the center of the target array. So in the first week, you'll have the light on your head with your feet together, like this here, and then hold the light on the center of the target array, and this is called gaze fixation. Just hold the light on the center of the target array. On the second week, now start moving along the lines inside the circle. To the vertical axis. And do each of these lines about 6 times. Horizontal, vertical, do the angles, and then finish by going around the circle and then go back the opposite direction. And repeat that circular motion twice. Okay, that's the end of the second week. On the third week, get the disc, and again, standing body length from the target array. Stand on the disc like this. Put your left foot or right foot, put one foot there like this, and then stand up and put the next foot close to the foot. Now, I want you like this, not like this, and not holding back or stabilizing or cheating like this. We want you up on the disc, and we want your feet flat like that there. Have we got that? And you're going to use this to balance and work the disc. So no locking down here, no locking down there, and no standing like this here. Stand with your feet flat in the same way that you'd walk. Once you've done that, again, come back up here then and work the lines inside the circle. Across and back, across and back, and do the same thing. Do all the lines as I discussed, and then go around the circle. That's usually the end of the third week. On the fourth week, then what you do is start to extend 100 mils further. So your board will have marks 100 mils further, and each week go 100 mils further. So this will be week 4, this will be week 5, this is week 6, okay? When you get to here, go all the way around the target array. Till you get to this side, and then come all the way again. Till you get back to center again. That's end of week 6 or thereabouts, depending on your tolerance. This is week 7. This is week 8. And week 9, till eventually you get to the ceiling here like this, okay? Now, just look at this for a second. You may find, oh, I can't get back up there like that. Just move the light up a fraction on your forehead so that you can do that. Now go across. Come down the corner. And go across the floor. And come back up again. So let's just show them that, Chad. Again, come up to the ceiling. Go across. Come down the corner. And go across the floor. And back up the far side. Okay? Now, just watch this in the center here. This is what we call an oscillation. And particularly when you're standing on the balance board, you'll have this oscillation going on. When you go across the horizontal side, you see this oscillation, which I'm exaggerating. If you go too fast, you can't see the oscillation. If you go too slow, it'll drive you nuts. So about this speed here, and come back at the same speed. This exercise is called CCR, or cervical colic reflex. Sit on a swivel chair or swivel stool about 1.5 meters from the board. Place on the board at eye level a piece of blue tack. Put the light on your head like this here. Again, position the light such that when you turn the light on, if it's up here or down there, move the light accordingly up or down. We don't want you doing the exercise like this. We don't want it like this. We want the cervical spine in a neutral position. So come around and make sure the light is on the blue tack just like this. And the first week, just sit there and hold the light on the blue tack. On the second week, what you do then is rotate the chair right and left of center while holding the light on the blue tack. That's the second week. Each week after that, what you do is just add an extra 10 degrees and move in a rotation like this. Till eventually you're getting to week 6, week 7, till eventually week 9 or thereabouts, you're now here. And you start there and you go from left to right in 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 180 degrees, and then go back in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now, all this takes place with 1 foot. So make sure the chair is moving properly, make sure it's well oiled, and it's just, this is all you're doing. Just like that there, okay? Till eventually it's just 1 foot kicks you 180 degrees in 5 seconds. So if there's any resistance in the chair, just get an oil can, a CCR, or one of these oils, and put into the chair to make sure the chair moves smoothly. We do not want to see, that's not what we want to see, okay? And we don't want to see you standing up and doing, this is not what the exercise is about. You need to have a swivel chair. If you haven't got one, borrow one from a friend or invest in one. It's a very, very important exercise. This exercise is to do with reintegration of the optokinetic reflex. Again, sitting on a swivel stool or swivel chair. Put the light on your head. This time, turn the light on and shine it at the base of the middle finger here. Just turn it this, okay? Now this time, everything's going to turn. You, the light, the chair, your arm, 90 degrees in 5 seconds. And hold for 5 seconds, and then 90 degrees in 5 seconds, and hold for 5 seconds, and keep repeating till eventually you've done 360 degrees. That's it. And then go in the opposite direction, all right? That's for the first, let's say, 3 to 4 weeks. As your system begins to integrate, then what you do is you now do 180 degrees. So again, make sure the light stays at the base of this finger here. And what you do now is go 180 degrees in 10 seconds. And hold. Then 10 seconds again and hold. And then go the opposite direction. 10 seconds and hold, and then again 10 seconds and hold. And again, this is all done with 1 foot, just doing 1 or 2 casts, okay? We don't want to see, this is not the exercise, okay? Again, make sure that your chair is well oiled, and just do a nice smooth kick and bring it around like this here. Okay, you eventually get to the point then where in a couple months time you can do 360 degrees in 20 seconds. So starting here, 360 degrees in 20 seconds. Coming right around, okay? Now make sure you do this exercise in a busy room. So make sure there's articles on the wall, pictures, paintings, etc. This is again to do with what we call the optokinetic reflex in your peripheral vision. And the best way I can explain this during my recovery, during my injury recovery, I went to a restaurant one day about 6 months into my recovery, and I looked at the menu and I immediately got sick. And I realized that what was happening was that the cars on the road going by were tripping off my peripheral vision and tripping off my optokinetic reflex. For me, the solution at the time was just turn around and face back into the restaurant where there were no cars going by. And as you know, every day people are walking past you, cars are going past you. The optokinetic reflex is getting fired up thousands of times a day. This exercise is designed to reintegrate that reflex so that you are healthy and well. Right, the last exercise is the marching exercise. When a baby's learning to walk, it must learn to crawl first, and that crawling action connects right brain to left brain and integrates the cerebellum. We're not going to make you crawl around for the next 3 months on the floor, but we're going to have you do this instead. So it's an opposing movement, just like this. Make sure you have what we call good form, that the arms and the legs are parallel. None of this here like this, or this here like this, okay? Just a pure vertical up and down movement. And it's not Tin Man. So from the side, it's not Tin Man. It's what's happening with the arm here. The arm swings like a pendulum, okay? Just like that there. So 1 minute, 3 times a day, sit in a chair and do this. And when you finish doing that, then stand up and with your eyes open, again, 1 minute, 3 times a day, just do this marching exercise with your eyes open.